Hi, I'm Hannah from Singletrack and I'm here with Jack from Canyon.
Hi.
To talk about this new bike in front of us, the Strive, which is launched today, and it's your enduro bike, yeah?
That's it. So for those not familiar with the Canyon range of mountain bikes, the Strive's been around for a while in a number of versions, and it's our, like you say, our enduro bike. So it's positioned between our Spectral, the trail bike in our range, and the Torque, which is our kind of super enduro bike park bike. And this is our latest version of that kind of enduro model, the Strive.
So big news, big change is the wheels, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the thing you'll notice if you are familiar with the old bike is that we moved to 29-inch wheels. So that's across all sizes. There's been kind of, I think, a bit of a shift in racing and everything. And I think we've engineered this bike to win races. So 29 for us
is where it's at.
Is where we've gone to.
Nailing your colours to the mast. Excellent. So no 27.5s at all. What travel are we going to get?
So the bike we have in front of us here is a bit of an exception. It has a 170mm fork, but everything else is a 160mm fork, and then on the back is 150mm of travel across the board. Okay,
so the rear travel's the same across all the bikes in the range.
Exactly.
But this one is the team racing EWS guys kind of bike, and so it's got a bit more travel.
Slightly longer fork, just because I guess the EWS rounds these days are they're so demanding that they kind of an extra 10mm brings the head angle back half a degree and raises the BB slightly, so they can negotiate nasty rock gardens and everything in between.
Okay, so if you fancy yourself as an EWS rider, what are you getting by way of geometry on that?
So you have to take half a degree off these angles, but it's a 66 for this bike, but a 66 head angle on most of the range.
Right.
And then you've got quite a bit longer reach on a few of the sizes for this new version. So on the large is a 470mm reach, and on the XL is a whopping 500mm reach, and then you've got 440 reach on medium and 415 reach on the small. So
so the scale, this one's a medium, yeah?
This is a medium here.
Okay. Yeah. And what about the seat tube? Is that same angles as well?
The seat tube in the XC mode is 75 and 73.5 when you're in the downhill mode, which is all determined by where you have the shapeshifter.
So let's talk about the shapeshifter then. There's things going on here. There's buttons up here. There's some little extra gubbins down here.
Exactly.
What's it for, first of all?
So it's quite well hidden, but what it is a small gas spring, which when it's extended, the bike sits up into that 75-degree seat angle and adds 1.5 degrees onto the head tube angle as well.
Right.
And then when it's compressed, you get that kind of downhill mode, 66 head angle. That angle change is sort of half the story. The other big change is to the feel of the rear suspension. When it compresses, it actually moves the top eyelet of the shock slightly further towards the seat tube, which increases the leverage ratio.
Okay.
So in the downhill mode, not only have you got a slacker lower bike, you've also got a bike with the full 150mm of travel,
right.
More supple shock, whereas in the cross-country mode, conversely, is a firmer feeling shock.
Right.
The travel is actually down to 135mm because the leverage ratio has changed. And also a more subtle thing, but you do really notice it actually when you're pounding up a steep climb, is there's actually, because the rear axle's slightly further round the wheel path, there's slightly more anti-squat in the XC mode. So together,
your XC mode is for your pedalling then?
Exactly.
And then you can switch the downhill mode for going downhill.
Almost two bikes in one.
And you could actually use it almost like two bikes in one, because if you're just doing like a trail centre ride with your kids or whatever, you could just keep it in XC mode the whole way around. Yeah,
if you're someone that splits your time between super steep techie trails and then you have some sort of more sort of flowy trails, the XC mode, whilst we call it XC mode, is actually usable for more mellow trails.
Yeah.
So you get a bit more pedaling efficiency, slightly tighter angles. So yeah, it's something that we developed with the old bike, but on this one it's been evolved a little bit further. So
it's kind of refined the action for how you get from one state into another, isn't it? I think so.
Exactly.
If you're an EWS rider and you want to be able to change settings just as easily as you might use a dropper. That's kind of what you've got now with this, yeah?
Yeah, so it's on the fly. So the geometry
Yep.
adjustment, this rear shock feeling adjustment is something you can do on the fly.
Should I press these buttons?
Yeah.
So, what setting am I in now?
So now you'll be in the XC mode. The next time there's weight taken off the back of the bike, the shapeshifter will extend by itself and stay there in XC mode.
Okay.
And then
Oh, I'm at the top of the hill.
as soon as you release it, so the next time the rear suspension compresses, it will then go into downhill mode and it will stay there.
Okay.
So it's the last one was similar in kind of the way it changed the bike, but the operation was a little bit of a technique to it, a bit of a learning
Yeah, you have to
process.
sort of compress and push and things at the same
Yeah,
time.
you
That's
have to
just
time it.
there's no timing. You just push.
Yeah.
Push and go.
And you can
Right.
see it when you're riding. If you've accidentally left it in XC
Yes.
mode, you can just see on the handlebar. So
Know where you are.
it's nice and easy.
And it's still quite tidy there with the dropper and everything there.
Yeah, so the lever's really nice in that it accepts the thumb paddle reverb remote and also accepts the cable pull canyon remote. So if you
Right.
have a bike spec'd with a cable operated post, it will be in exactly the same layout as that.
Okay.
And I think thumb paddle is a bit easier to use than having levers above the bar,
Yeah.
which even turning your bike upside down, you're not meant to do it. But
Yes. It's going to happen sometime.
saves stuff getting
So,
damaged.
and then this shapeshifter is across all the bikes in the range, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
And in terms of the engineering of the unit itself, this time around we've developed it with the guys at Fox Suspension.
Okay.
So there's been a few changes. Let's say the angle adjustment is very similar to the old bike, so about 1.5 degrees is the change you achieve. But even down to the location of the valve to set it up for your weight, it sits off to the side. So the last one you had to use an adapter because it was quite kind of hidden inside
Right.
the middle of the rocker link. And also this runs at a lower pressure, so you're not really having to wind it up to super high pressure. It's a bit easier to kind of set up, and as we've run over, the operation of it is a bit more intuitive.
Right. So that's your geometry and your geometry changes. They stay the same across all of the range, apart from this race one.
Exactly.
Yeah?
The other
And then-
small change
yeah,
is
go on then.
the low offset fork. So we've moved to low offset
Oh,
forks
yes.
on this bike. Depending on whether you have a Fox equipped bike or a RockShox equipped bike, you get either 44mm offset for Fox or 42mm offset for RockShox. So that's
Okay.
the only other kind of discrepancy between saying it's a blanket, this
Right.
is the geometry and spec
Okay.
between the bikes.
And so there are different price points in the range, and there's 2 different carbon layups for different parts of that range. Is that correct?
Exactly, yeah. So the 2 top models, so this one and the one above it.
And the bling one, the super bling. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So we tout them as the CFR bikes. So they're a slightly higher modulus carbon, same stiffness as the standard bikes below them, the standard Strive CF, but it's 300 grams lighter. So it's quite a big weight saving.
Okay.
So it's almost a full water bottle,
Yes.
which if you're out all day is I think noticeable over time.
Okay. And you get a water bottle on all the bikes as well, don't you?
Water bottle on there, and also
Yeah.
threaded BB as well.
A
for
threaded
those home
BB,
mechanics.
excellent. Now, there's a couple of changes down here, weren't there, that were kind of note. So you've got your threaded BB, you've got a bolt-on protection on the sound tube,
Yeah.
and then something going on with the ISG
Yeah,
tabs as well?
so some people may sympathise with this, but ISCG tabs on bikes can be a bit vulnerable. So if you really whack the bash guard and your ISCG tabs are part of your frame, then you can hurt the frame.
Right.
On this bike, the same as our Torque actually, it's a removable ISCG plate. So if you really hit something hard and you write off your chain guide and you write off your ISCG tabs, rather than needing a new front end of your bicycle, you can just change the plate which clamps onto the BB
Right.
shell, and you're back up and running again.
That definitely sounds like a good thing.
Yes.
You would be
so.
sad to write off your
It
new
seems a
bike.
shame for such
Yes.
a good looking bike.
So, how many sizes are going to be available?
It's from small through to XL, so 4
Okay.
sizes, 6 models.
Right,
in the
and
range.
all the models available in all the sizes.
Precisely, yeah.
And so, what does it start at?
So 2699, and it's only available in carbon.
Right.
The Strive, as mentioned, it's got those 2 levels of carbon frame, but at 2699, it's still a really great spec. So you've got a proper Fox 36 rhythm fork, DPX2 performance shock, and then at the other end of the spectrum, the very, very top CF9 limited model has got a real dream build kind of components. So NV wheels, XX1 group set, and also the Fox factory
Cool.
shocks. So yeah, really broad range of bikes.
Very good. Well, thanks very much for joining us, you and the viewers. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments below and Jack or I will do our best to answer them. Or hop on over to the Canyon website where you'll be able to see the range and order one if that's what you think you need.
Yeah, availability wise, there'll be select models in stock from today, and then the rest of the range will be following shortly after.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.